Hi guys, and welcome to this little video we don't have a name for yet, where I basically run through how we made Resort the biggest time of our year after it actually being one of the worst times of our year. Is level with like Christmas Black Friday period, and it's definitely been a journey to get here. So we'll start from the very beginning. I started the brand in September 2020 with the Ultimate Muse Blazer, which some of you may know, some of you may have and love. And it was a real struggle for me to figure out what Odd Muse looked like season to season when I had been explaining to everyone that essentially it was a seasonless brand. So that's why you've seen us sort of take quite a long time to play with colour and take quite a long time to play with the other fabrics, because ultimately I sort of felt like we had to play it safe for a long time. So one of our second best sellers was the jumpsuit and the sleeveless dress. These were both extensions of the blazer, which I guess didn't really help my confidence as a designer, because it was like, oh, everything you're doing that's related to the blazer is working. But how far can you actually take that? And it wasn't until we got to the Christmas of 2022 that there was a real turning point in what we could see from Odd Muse products in terms of dresses that were more seasonal but still timeless. And that dress was really born from like a big mistake in the summer of 2022, and that was Odd Muse Resort 2022. I had essentially designed quite a large collection. My main focus was quantity over quality. Obviously that wasn't what I had in my head, but I just wanted quantity. I want lots of products. I want this to be one of the biggest collections we've ever done. I want it to be super special. I want to host a party. I want it to be all party outfits. And the product was so wrong, and I did a big party in LA which cost me an absolute fortune, and none of it sold. And that was my biggest lesson, because I had always been against like paid PR and all these like crazy things people do, like they spend more on, I mean, fast fashion brands notoriously spend more on marketing than they do on the actual product. And it really brought me back to my original strategy where like, no, product is the most important thing, everything else comes second. So that brought me into Christmas 2022 when I only released like 2 pieces for party, and one of them was the pearl dress. That changed the brand forever. It sold like thousands and thousands of units. We dropped it in white 1 month later.
We were just saying that the white was the most signed up dress you ever launched.
Yeah, the white, and that's what really led us down the bridal trail, and that whole like launch, just them whole 2 months, November and December 2022, just taught me so much about the brand. And that really went into Resort last year. So we essentially took the pearl dress and made like multiple summer versions of her. We made it strapless with the same shape. We made a pearl A-line. What else was in there? We made the cap sleeve as like a more like workwear option, and that was to, I don't know, it's not our biggest ever launch because Resort this year was our biggest ever launch, but to that moment in 2023, that was our biggest ever moment.
Why did you choose to shoot in Paris? And number 2, when you were shooting it, were you worried, or were you so confident because you were believing in product this year?
I think when we shot Resort last year, I was so excited because I knew that the product was even better than the pearl dress. Like, I knew if she liked her pearl dress, she's gonna love what's coming. And the reason I went to Paris is just because we'd shot the pearl dress in London, and I feel like it was just like the start of like Odd Muse shoots away, and like now everyone gets really excited and it's become quite a thing. I just think it's different to London. I don't love living in London. I don't love shooting in London. I like to go away and be like solely focused on the shoot. So yeah, I was really confident in Resort last year. Although I would say not as confident as how well it did. We sold out again in like 2 minutes, and everything was on pre-order. And it was like all the dresses that we released for Resort last year are still our best sellers. Like, we literally like sell like 300 cap sleeve dresses a week now, more than we even sold on launch.
How did that feel when it did so well on launch day?
I just remember thinking like, what the hell? I just remember thinking like, we can, like, I just remember feeling a lot of pressure after, because like even throughout the year we didn't really beat that until the split sleeve in grey. And this year with Resort, I felt the product was as good, but the amount that we did last year and the amount of social coverage, I felt like we had a mix of everything, but also like just a little bit of luck was on our side. Like we really took TikTok by storm then, and I feel like the stars were all aligned last year for Resort. But Resort this year, like sometimes it can just depend on the algorithm whether your like content's going to reach. So you're always going to have to be nervous that that's in someone else's hands. So I was nervous for Resort this year, but we actually like literally doubled it before the end of the day, which was crazy.
But you surprised then about that, or were you just kind of hoping like you?
I was definitely surprised. Like we bought stock to last a month, and we had a July intake and an August intake, and we sold like all 3 months within like 2 weeks. So yeah, but each collection we just take what we learn into the next one, and I think that's why we do so well. Like, and we grow collection per collection, because we're constantly like, oh, she didn't like that, she liked that, she didn't. What did she like about this? How can we extend this? And it's just been like slow and steady growth to get to where we are today in terms of the product that we're releasing. But now it's getting to a point where maybe it's a little bit too much pressure, because Odd Muse is really peaking with their product. Like I'm really feeling that pressure to go, even for this Christmas, to go like above and beyond, because this year with Resort and even Drop 2, like we soft launch Drop 2 today, and everyone's messaging like, this is my favourite drop yet. There's pressure, because we've definitely peaked this year. We've definitely, like, the product has been amazing, and I'm confident in the rest of the year, but it's just like,
I think when you can't see the growth, like it's like you can't see yourself growing, it's hard to envision it.
Yeah.
Whereas like, because it's just done so well.
Christmas, January onwards, like I'm just like, wow, how am I going to top this? Like if I think about Resort next year, I feel sick.
But then if you think about you last Resort, you probably thought that as well. You probably thought, God, like this is crazy. Like we've really reached our peak. How are we going to do this next year? Like you were leading up to Resort this year. You were stressed because you were like, last year was so amazing. How are we going to beat that? And then doubled it.
Yeah, that is how we Resort become our biggest time of year. We're not a summer brand. We're still very much seasonless, but we like to, we like to add a bit of colour. Now, I really look forward to summer. It used to be a time that I dreaded because I didn't know what an Odd Muse summer was. And now it's like my favourite time of the year. Resort Part 2 though, I would say always comes at a really stressful time of the year, because you have to try and not beat what you did last time, but match it. And then June, July is when you really start having, like, I've just come out of the Black Friday meeting and we're trying to chase party for like Christmas and stuff. So it's like your mind is like, you want to beat last month, or you want to match what you did last month, but you also need to be in your game for the last quarter of the year. So that's.
So I feel like Part 2 last year was also a little bit stressful, but maybe that was just because you were really ill.
Yeah, and it also wasn't that good. Like the black cap sleeve is the only survivor. One was like, it's new styles, it's not just recolours.
Yeah.
So it should be better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But this one was a quicker turnaround, because last time we did Resort, Bridal, Resort. This time it was Bridal, Resort.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Crazy.
It's crazy time. It's never not a crazy time, is it?
I've learned that you can be seasonless. You can be seasonless with a pop of colour. I've learned that you can be in a summer trend, but you can also be translatable. Like there's loads of stuff that we've released that, like, I know for a fact she's gonna wear at Christmas, like the black drop, the black midi. Like, why would she not wear that at any point in her life in whatever season? But it makes sense to release it in summer. So yeah, overall I've learned that summer doesn't have to be so high summer. It doesn't have to be florals and bright colours and all stuff like that.
Like
the foundations and the best sellers of Odd Muse's summer has been the colour in that first launch week, but the ones that are sustained is the white, black and navy. So yeah, it's just more fun now, and yeah, I've just learnt collection to collection. You just got to take what's worked and what's not.
Not put pressure on yourself.
And yeah, maybe don't put pressure on yourself, but pressure makes diamonds.
So
Thank you so much for coming to whatever this video was. I hope you learned something, and let me know what else you want me to sit down and talk about, because it will really help us and I can prep more.
yes, I'll talk about it. Yeah,
little drop coming. That's like an extension of not just result. There's a few little things, just like a few recolours that I know you want to see.
It's been asked for.
Yes,
Every piece has been asked for.
Coming in hot for you.
Have fun.
Have fun.